the world of WWE, you never quite know what's real and what's not real.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you call it fake, or anyone calls it fake, not you, but anyone, if anyone calls it fake, that's so insulting to someone who breaks their neck, literally breaks their neck to
Hmm.
entertain you. Like, I find it funny when The Rock is now the biggest star in the planet, arguably. And it's just like, well, he was mine, he was ours. So, do you know what I mean? But Becky Lynch, arguably the greatest female wrestler of all time, possibly the greatest wrestler of all time. I mean, tell you when I've cried watching wrestling. And it's not because of a storyline or anything. It's a perfect example of why it's the greatest entertainment on earth. Because you see Austin up against Vince McMahon, the big bad boss. So you had a working class blue collar man taking on his boss. Would you call a movie fake? No, you'd call it a movie. All right? It's predetermined scripted entertainment. That's all it is. It's
Hi everyone.
Hi guys. Hope everyone's well and enjoying their weekend. It's a bank holiday here in Ireland. The first bank holiday of the year, so that means Monday off for everybody. And I think everyone's out just walking around and trying to enjoy the good weather. It's not great.
Today it didn't rain at
It
least.
didn't rain today. That's a win in Ireland. That's a big win in Ireland if it didn't rain. I think we had 25 days of rain this month so far. It's been pretty bleak.
Oh no.
Yeah. But perfect weather to watch television. And in the last episode, we were chatting. I can't even remember what we were talking about, but we mentioned the WWE. And we had loads of messages from people saying, you should talk about the WWE because you like wrestling. And that's what the purpose of this channel is just to talk about stuff that we enjoy. It's not for everybody, but it's not supposed to be for everybody. It's for the people that like tuning in and listening to us spitball, as they say. So today we're talking about the WWE. It's a bit of a giveaway. And even Lily loves wrestling in this house. Zuzi is sort of new to it, but I've been watching it since a kid. So Zuzi wants to ask me some questions about wrestling, and that's what we're going to do.
Yes. I don't understand wrestling, but but I live with someone who loves wrestling.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks it's I have some question. Everyone thinks it's fake. So
Oh my God, the worst word in the world. Don't
yes,
ever
that's what
say fake. Because it's not fake. There's a big
Okay.
difference. No, it's a simple mistake. A lot of people say
Okay,
that.
okay. Why does calling wrestling fake bother people
Oh my
so
God,
much?
it drives me mad. It drives me mad. Okay, well, first of all, are movies fake?
Yeah.
Like, would you call a
kind
movie?
of
No, but
makes
would you
sense.
would you call a movie fake? No, you'd call it a movie. All right? It's predetermined scripted entertainment. That's all it is. It's not fake because what the guys are doing is really, really hard and really, really tough. It's performance art. It's operatic ballet. It's incredibly difficult to do. Some of the greatest athletes in the world couldn't do what these guys do. So to call it fake is really disrespectful. Like if you go to an act, would you go up to an actor and say, "Oh, you're a fake person"? No. So what it is it's it's spectacle, it's entertainment. There are storylines involved. It's like if you take a movie off the screen in the cinema and put it into a live ring and have 90,000 people watching every
It's even
single movie
harder
you
than a
make.
movie.
Oh my God, it's impossible. You get one shot, there's no reshoots, there's no re-edits, no retakes. You've got 90,000 people staring at you live in a building and millions around the world watching every single move you make. And that is bloody hard. And you have to be super talented for that. It's not the UFC. It doesn't claim to be the UFC. It never did. They've always been quite open about well, in modern times, quite open about the fact that it is predetermined and that they work together. But that's not to say that they don't have in-house issues, that they don't have real problems between two performers that have to go up against each other in a program. If anything, that helps the product. They embrace that. So there has been instances in the past in wrestling when, say, one wrestler and another wrestler were fighting over, real life situation in terms of girls. Okay, so they were fighting over a girl, cheating and things like that. But they bleed that into the storyline and they work together. And this is what makes me so impressed by wrestling and wrestlers in particular, in that they can take something from their private life and see the money in it. So, say you have a problem with somebody at work, right? And it's toxic and it's depressing, and you're coming home every night and you're doing your head in, and you want to do something about it. Well, a performer in the WWE or AEW or TNA or any of the promotions that are going around, New Japan, NWA, they'll look at it and they'll go, "Well, I can, turn." you know, chicken shit into salad. I can turn this into my favor, and
Hmm.
it can define people's careers. So, like, just off the top of my head, Edge and Matt Hardy, back in the 90s, I'm going to say, maybe the early noughties, um, they got into a bit of a love triangle in real life, and they spun it into the TV show. And it was bloody brilliant because you could see them really genuinely hating each other and having to work together. It was just fascinating television. And the thing about wrestling that I just think people don't get is all of those layers that go into the programming and the storylines. And it just makes it so much more interesting than scripted television or movies or anything like that. It's really mind blowing what these guys do. And it's incredible what they do to their bodies. Because if you take a UFC fighter, for instance, he might have 2 fights in a whole year. These guys are on the road every single week, 52 weeks a year, taking bumps, hitting their backs, hitting their arms, breaking their necks in some cases. Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck. And they do it for the love of the game and the passion that they have for the sport. And that is watchable. Just to watch people who love what they're doing, I mean, really love what they're doing. It's just fascinating to watch.
It's okay, it's scripted, but it's very emotionally um um
Charged.
yes,
Yeah, it's full of
exactly.
emotion.
What
Yeah,
was the
it's full
word?
of the whole thing is built around emotion. Okay, so
Emotionally real
yeah,
was
it's
the word.
emotionally real because look, human beings in civilization have always identified with a goodie and a baddie. I mean, you see it in movies, you see it in TV shows, you see it in theater. There's always a goodie, there's always a baddie. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's a very simple premise, and what they do is they spin that into physical art, and that's what they do. And I know people are going to be watching this right now. They're going, "Oh, it's art." Yeah, it is art. You know, because if you get up on stage and perform in front of millions of people, that is art. You know, it is. And I was drawn to it as a kid because of the spectacle that it was, because they can make something look absolutely huge. Like you take WrestleMania, everyone's heard of WrestleMania. It's the Super Bowl of the WWE. It's on once a year. And you watch that, and it's one of the greatest shows in the world. It's so entertaining. There's fireworks, there's massive stages, there's about 80,000 people there going crazy. It is brilliant, brilliant entertainment. I think it's the best entertainment on earth.
Do you think it feels more honest sometimes than real life?
Absolutely. It's a very simple premise. So you get rivalries and feuds between particular wrestlers, and they bring their own life into it. They bring their own experience into it. As the wrestlers get older, I suppose. So like you've got your CM Punks of the world who've been around for a long time and they're still at the top of their game. But they can draw on that rich history and all those rivalries that were going on for the last 20 years and turn that into even more compelling television now. And I just find that to be absolutely fascinating. Some TV shows and some movies would kill for that kind of access to entertainment, access to storylines. They're just there staring at you in the face, and you can turn it into a real feud.
Okay. Do you think wrestling gives men permission to feel emotions they don't get space to feel in real life?
Yeah,
Like
probably. Yeah, yeah.
anger, loyalty, pride, strength?
Well, yeah, they are the things you see on programming all the time. All these qualities. It's just a mirror to society. Wrestling throughout my lifetime has changed a few times to reflect the society it is in and what people want from the product. So in the 80s, you had what people think would the stereotypical type of wrestling with the caricatures. So the character kind of wrestlers where you had Sergeant Slaughter, who was a big army veteran soldier, and he was, he turned into a baddie who was up for Iraq and all that kind of stuff. It was class television in America. You had Repo Man. He was a character like a Disney kind of stuff, and he was dressed up like a guy who'd take your car if you didn't pay your pay your fees for it. So we had that in the 80s, and then it shifted in the 90s to the Attitude Era because it was reality TV and people wanted real. They wanted raw and real, and that's Monday Night Raw, big show for the WWE, where you had these real life storylines, and you had the most famous one, of course, is Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon, of course, was the genius behind the WWE, the crazy man the Walt Disney of wrestling, basically. But he became a character in his own show, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who everybody knows, became his sort of his big headache in the company, and they turned it into this really amazing run, probably one of the greatest runs of all time, where you had Stone Cold Steve Austin up against Vince McMahon, the big bad boss. So you had a working class blue collar man taking on his boss, and people identified with that. It's like all stories in WWE. You identify with it because everybody has a problem with their boss, at some stage in their life. So they could live vicariously on a Monday night seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin give two fingers to his boss and getting him into situations that he couldn't get out of. And it was like a win for the ordinary guy. It was amazing television. And that was in the 90s. And then it changed again in the noughties. And, it goes with the times and it goes with the flow. And now it's a totally different scenario. It's owned by the same people that own the UFC. So it's kind of an amalgamation of all those things, the reality and the characters. So it's very driven by the world we live in right now. The rivalries are all, based on things like jealousy and envy, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
brilliant television, and it's on all the time, so you can catch it all the time and dip in and dip out. It's also very easy to follow. It's simple premises, and it's brilliant.
Do you think it's so successful because it's clear what is bad and what is
Yeah,
good and
it's good versus bad. It's like all good entertainment. It's just good versus bad. I mean, there's obviously shades of grey in between good and bad, and they work on that as well. It's also very funny. It can be hilarious, really, really funny. You watch an episode of Monday Night Raw, you will laugh, you will cry, if you're that way, I don't really cry watching wrestling, but, it has
it's like a
happened.
movie.
But it has happened. I'll tell you when I've cried watching wrestling. And it's not because of a storyline or anything. It's a perfect example of why it's the greatest entertainment on earth. Because you have someone like, say, Ric Flair, the nature boy Ric Flair, who was 16-time world champion. He did it all. The guy had an amazing life all through the 70s and 80s. He traveled the world. He was a real traveling champion. The guy worked 365 days a year and he partied like an animal and he had a great life. If they haven't made a movie about his life yet, they will for sure, because it's going to be just so cool. So Ric Flair, gets older, gets to WrestleMania, doesn't want to stop wrestling. He loves wrestling, but he's in his like late 50s and maybe early 60s, and he goes up against one of the greatest of all time, Shawn Michaels, knowing it's his last match. At the time, it was his last match. He did a few others after, but really his last WWE match was WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels. And when he lost, it was really, really sad for everybody because everybody admired this guy. They knew what he had given to business, the entertainment he'd given us all our lives. That's real, that's real. And he lay down and Shawn Michaels said, "I love you." And he pinned him 1, 2, 3. And every grown man in the world cried. And so did grown women because it was real.
Is it
Yes, it was a storyline, but there was a reality behind it. And that's where wrestling is at its best, when it blurs the lines between real and scripted.
is it very important who is gonna win and who is gonna lose,
Not really.
or the storyline?
No, not really. Like a lot of wrestlers would say losses don't matter. I don't know. I'm not an expert in wrestling. I'm just a fan who would have loved to have been a wrestler, but I didn't think it was possible. So I scratched that and did other stuff. Uh, but like, I mean, look, you've got ages to make it up. Yeah, you'll have a period in your career when you might be losing a lot of stuff and people mightn't rate you, but then you come back and you could eventually become the champion. It's just about what the audience wants. There's been a lot of instances over the years where management necessarily didn't see potential in a talent, and they would put them out there, and they would lose all their matches, and they would be kind of put into dark matches, like the matches that are on before they go live on TV, just to warm the crowd up. They'd be getting gigs like that, and
Okay.
the fans would start to love this particular performer, and then management would have to change course. They say, "Shit, this guy's really getting over," as they say. It's called getting over. When you're becoming really popular with the fans, and they've no problem pivoting. That's the beauty of the business. The UFC can't pivot. So
Flexible.
the WWE can change things on a whim. The UFC can't. So if they've got a guy who's just not winning, he's just not winning. They can't make him win. So and that's part of the appeal of wrestling, is that they do that. They listen to the fans, and you get what you want. There's always a payoff. Sometimes when you watch a movie and it's pretty crap, and I guess the end you're like, that was terrible, and the end was stupid. With wrestling, there's always a payoff. Even if they get to the end and it's stupid, then they go, "Oh, well, we'll do something else again, and we'll do a different end." They can mess around with it.
And what about women? Do you
Well, women
would you
wrestling.
would you like to watch woman like
Oh,
man?
yeah. Wait,
You,
hold
do you
on.
prefer man or do you prefer a woman?
Well, that's a great question because when I was a kid, growing up in the 80s and 90s, loving wrestling, WWF, WWE, women's wrestling was a tiny, tiny part of programming. And I mean tiny. There were shows you wouldn't get any female wrestlers on it, and the roster might have maybe 5 or 6 female wrestlers on it. For a period of time in the WWE, women were wrestlers, but they weren't really. They were like swimsuit models, and they were beautiful girls, but they weren't trained to
To
do
wrestle.
the job because the job is amazing. And then they would train to do the job and they get pretty good, but then management, there was no business for it. They thought people didn't want to see female wrestling, and if they did, they just wanted to see a little bit, but they wanted more so men's wrestling. But that all changed in the last 10 years or so, and now the women are arguably better than the men.
Hmm.
Yeah, genuinely. And if you'd asked me 20 years ago,
Wow.
would guys sit through an all female pay per view from the WWE? I'd say that's a bit of a stretch. But now it's the best wrestling on the show. The most compelling characters. Like Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn from Ireland.
She's Irish,
Yeah,
yeah.
we love her. She's amazing.
I know her. Like
Yeah,
I know two actually.
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch, and then I know the cousin of The Rock. The
Oh,
Rock's.
Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing.
No,
But
no, the man. The
Oh, Roman Reigns.
yeah.
Oh, Nia
Roman.
Jax is his female cousin. I think
Okay.
cousin, niece, big family. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which is which, but they are related. But Becky Lynch, arguably the greatest female wrestler of all time, possibly the greatest wrestler of all time. I mean, you could put her in an argument if you wanted to go down that road, because she is over like Rover, as they say, and she's just a superstar, and she's Irish, so we love her. And her character at the moment is just so funny. She's doing all like Donald Trump's tweets kind of stuff, where she says, "I'm amazing. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And I've been screwed. It was a rigged match." It's it's very funny, and she's very clever, and she's a great performer. So yeah, women's wrestling is now more important or equally important than men's, and there's no difference at all. I will sit there through a main event. Indeed, Becky Lynch main evented WrestleMania. Her, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey from the UFC were the first female match to main event at WrestleMania, and Becky Lynch won because she's Irish and she's amazing.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
She's so fit.
Yeah.
The people that they say it's scripted and it's not real. Do you think they are scared to watch real pain
No, I just
in
think
real
I,
life?
I just
Like
think
because it's real pain you see there.
they're dinosaurs. They literally look. What they were saying might have been relevant 25 years ago, but the world's moved on. Now WWE is one of the biggest sports brands on the planet. I think it's the biggest sports brand on YouTube. It is unstoppably popular. So they did their deal with Netflix over a year ago. I think it was something like 5 billion quid. Like it is nuts what this brand is worth and the amount of people that love it. And when I was growing up, it was kind of like you kind of kept your love of wrestling quiet. You didn't, you just kind of like, there's no point talking about it because people are just going to be like, oh, it's fake and you're stupid and stuff or whatever. It was sort of counterculture in a way. Now it's totally mainstream. It's completely mainstream. You got The Undertaker down there with Cristiano Ronaldo. You got Becky Lynch in Star Trek, the new series. You've got The Rock. I mean, The Rock. I find it funny when The Rock is now the biggest star in the planet, arguably, and it's just like, well, he was mine, he was ours. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a sense of ownership over that. It's like, you think The Rock is good, do you? Well, I was talking about him 25 years ago when you were slagging off what he was doing. So wrestling fans have a great ability for spotting talent. So we did find The Rock. Arguably, we could say we found The Rock because he came into the WWE. He was packaged very badly. His character wasn't great. And it was the crowd and him that worked together to make him into a superstar that gave him the platform to go off to Hollywood. So we feel like he's family. He's one of ours. And I won't have a bad word said against him. And the same thing again for John Cena. These superstars that are mainstream, Hollywood actors, voices on television, they started with us. We found them. Don't you ever forget it. Right?
Okay, when we talk about like The Rock, and let's talk about loyalty. Like he has been always very loyal to
WWE.
Yeah, loyal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
He only really wrestled for them through his whole career, and now he's actually on the board of management, so he owns a bit of it.
and why do you think the fans always stay loyal for decades? Even sometimes the quality drops. They are always loyal.
Yeah, I think because as a professional wrestler, you have a deeper connection with the audience than, say, an actor would or a musician might. And I'll tell you why. And the reason why is because they're on the road 365 days a year. They go to your town, they wrestle in front of you, they love their fans because the job is like you don't have a job without the fans, whether they love you or hate you. You know, the hate thing in wrestling is hilarious because you can often love your favorite wrestler is the one you hate the most. That's the whole that's the whole beauty of this crazy world of wrestling. So they've got a connection with fans that all Hollywood actors would kill for. Social media influencers would kill for the connection that professional wrestlers have, because ultimately they're putting their bodies on the line for your entertainment. So when you call it fake, or anyone calls it fake, not you, but anyone, if anyone calls it fake, that's so insulting to someone who breaks their neck, literally breaks their neck to entertain you. Like if you actually step back and listen to yourself saying, "Oh, that's fake bullshit," you are so disrespectful and so rude to what they do for their fans. If you don't like it, that's fine. Watch something else. You can watch anything you want. There's a million other things on television. But if you are disrespecting it, you're definitely in the wrong.
I have seen like what kind of jumps they do and
It's
jumping
unbelievable.
from it. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. The
Yeah.
the cardio they do, like
Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, they're not meatheads. I mean, these guys and girls, their cardio is off the chain because it's really hard to do what they're doing. A 15-minute match. Like, yeah, you could go on people are watching this right now, they're going, "Oh, I can run on a treadmill for 15 minutes, no problem." Yeah, of course you can. But can you go in and lift and pull and change your body? Like something simple like a power slam. It's like, oh, well, one person did all the work there. No, two people are always doing the work. It takes two to tango, or three or four, maybe if there's a fatal four way or tonight's Royal Rumble. But you work with the person. That's what so like if I asked you to go around the house and bend and jump and pull and yank and roll and land and fall and get up and jump and like, it's mad cardio. You're running around like a mad thing. It just blows my mind what they can do. And just getting back to earlier on what we were talking about, when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a WWE superstar. That was my dream. I was like, that's what I want to do with the rest of my life. Only I was stupid, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because we came to Ireland when was about 9 years old, and I was watching wrestling on Sky. Now, other people were doing the same thing roughly around my age. People like Finn Balor, Becky Lynch, Sheamus, and that age group from Ireland. They were watching it same as me, and they same as me were like, "I'd love to be a professional wrestler." I thought it was impossible. I was like, "That's just crazy American stuff. It's never going to happen. I would never make it." And I didn't even think about it longer than a month. Like I was like, "It's just not going to happen." Whereas they didn't, and I admire them so much for it. I really admire them. I admire Becky Lynch for going, "No, I could do that," and Sheamus and Finn Balor for the same thing. And I just think that's cool that I came up in that generation and they actually managed it, and I'm so proud of them. I really am. Yeah.
what about if wrestling disappears tomorrow? How are you gonna feel?
It's never going to disappear. It's
If let's say if disappears, how you
well,
what's gonna change with you?
I'd be
Like
screwed. I mean, could you imagine if the gym disappeared for you?
no.
Yeah, no, no. No, it's my favorite form of entertainment. I love it, and even when I don't love it, it's fine. There's another one coming, you know, a week later. You don't have to wait that long for to get something out of it that you do love. And wrestling fans are nuts. They're never happy, like ever happy, because everybody has a way that they do it. So they're always fighting over, well, I wouldn't have had him lose, I would have had her win, and all this kind of nonsense. You have to trust in the vision of the person that is running the program. And at the moment, that is Triple H, the great and mighty Triple H. He's taken over and he's in charge of creative. And overall, I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's made a couple of mistakes, but everybody does. No big deal. The big picture is just, I mean, all you have to do is look at the ticket sales. Like the reason we're talking about WWE, especially today, is tonight is the Royal Rumble. which is the start of WrestleMania season. So you've got about 5 months now of really top tier programming. This is when everybody works a little harder and the storylines start to be introduced that are going to take us to the big massive weekend in Vegas in April. I think April. It's always April, so it must be April.
Oh, we can go there.
I would love to go to Vegas for WrestleMania. I did go to WrestleMania 20, but I'll talk to you after this about that. So they're starting their big run now. It's the most important time of the year for the WWE, and it kicks off tonight. And Zuzi is going to watch it with me, which is going to be fun. Her first full pay per view with me. So, and I love Royal Rumble. I remember the first one I ever saw. I think it was 1988. Blew my mind. 30 men, 30 women. Separate matches. There's a women's Royal Rumble and a men's Royal Rumble. 30 wrestlers go in. One, the last one who didn't get thrown over the top rope, is the winner, and they get a main event in WrestleMania for this. Well, not this one. I don't have the real one. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I love wrestling. As you can see, I like talking about wrestling.
What about the people? I feel like there are a lot of people that they secretly like wrestling,
God, yeah.
but they don't admit it because I don't know. Is it seen as a less intellectual or something? Why?
I don't know. I mean, that's like saying, soccer less intellectual. Look, it's whatever floats your boat. I personally have very little interest in, say, Premiership football. I love a World Cup and I love a European Championship or whatever, but I just don't have the time or inclination or interest to watch the Premiership, which is fine. It's not for me. Um, and there's a lot of people who are casual wrestling fans that will definitely watch tonight. Royal Rumble last year was their most watched pay per view. And especially now that it's on Netflix, you don't have to go looking for it. Pretty much everyone has a Netflix. So it pops up when you turn on the app and people are going to check it out just to see what it's all about. So they'll probably get, I don't know, 30 million people watching tonight.
Wow,
Yeah, it's down in Saudi Arabia. They built a stadium in Saudi Arabia in 1 month
money,
just for the Royal
money.
Rumble. Money. But it also goes to show you the importance of wrestling in today's marketplace. If a country is willing to build a stadium in a month just so you can have one show there.
Is there
Like,
going
that's
to be
kind of World
girls?
Cup
But
language.
I don't know if is there going to be girls that are like with
Oh yeah,
bikinis
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff?
There's gonna be no, there'll be no bikinis or anything like that. So they whatever market they move into, they respect the rules down there.
Very
So
good.
yeah, all the girls will be, they'll be wearing whatever track pants and stuff like that. Who cares? Nobody's watching it to watch, flesh. They're looking for good wrestling and good storylines. They're going to get it tonight. I can guarantee you that. Because Triple H, he doesn't give up. He doesn't give up.
What do women misunderstand about wrestling, and what do men misunderstand about why women may enjoy the wrestling?
Oh, well, look, I think those days are over. Like, I mean, girls didn't watch wrestling 25 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even. Now it's across the board. There's women, men
I
watching it.
I love to.
I think girlfriends and wives probably don't understand it. Sometimes, when the husband is obsessed with it, and maybe even the other way around. I don't know, but that goes for all interests, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You
Do you
know,
think wrestling gives people something modern life took away?
gives you something that modern life has taken away.
Yeah.
I guess a connection. Yeah, there's. I mean, we're looking for things that will connect us. Certainly with the changing landscape of TV. I mean, I've worked in TV and radio and stuff like that, and I can tell you, what you already know is that it's completely changing. So everything is streaming now, and the way people get content is fragmented across the board. The one thing that does bring people together is live programming.
Mm.
So that goes for football matches, American football, baseball, Premiership, World Cups, Olympics that's coming up, the Winter Olympics. That brings people together, and that's why they cost the most money. So the Olympics is worth a fortune, and WWE is involved in that conversation now. It wouldn't have been 25, 30 years ago, but it is now, and it's involved in that conversation because it offers live programming, and it offers more live programming than any other sports brand on earth. So it's very attractive for investors and people like that. So the long term future is live programming in every way, and that's what they give us nowadays in the modern world. Whereas everyone's off watching their own stuff, but everyone's going to be sitting down tonight at 7 o'clock to watch the Royal Rumble. And the same goes for Elimination Chamber, and the same goes for WrestleMania, and the same goes for Survivor Series, and all the other pay per views, Money in the Bank. Everybody sits down at the same time to watch the same program. It's amazing.
Hmm. Um, Okay, let's talk about me.
Yeah, talk about you. You'd be a great wrestler, by the way. I genuinely, she'd be an amazing WWE women's wrestler.
I was gonna say, because I'm obsessed with training. Okay, like
Yeah,
I
you
am
love your
just
training.
I love my training. Do you think like you manifested this, like to have a girlfriend
I
that is
manifested a
obsessed? Yes,
WWE women's wrestler in my house.
yes.
Um, yeah.
Because I'm like my
I
my
wish you were
food
Becky Lynch. I'm
schedule.
joking. I'm only joking. You're perfect. Zuzi the Killer Hussein. Yeah, no, you're perfect. You're perfect. And Becky's married. Don't mean to be disrespectful. Jeepers. Roz beat the crap out of me.
I could say the same. I wish you were the husband.
Oh, you do. You say the same all the time. You say it frequently. You wish I was Seth Rollins. Yeah, because he's the hot husband, according to Becky.
Is it?
He's the hottest husband on earth or something like that.
They're
She's
they
hilarious.
are both wrestlers, no? They
Oh
are
yeah,
both
yeah. They met
wrestlers.
on the
They
road,
met there.
and they have a kid, and they bring the kid on tour. It's amazing. Such a great life. I'd love to have been a wrestler. It's like a circus. You
Traveling.
just travel the world and you perform, and it's just so cool. Um, like it's amazing. And what they do to themselves for our benefit, I can never thank them enough because it's just incredible. Like we love music. We love live music. Metallica goes on the road, and they're always traveling. You know, they do it that. But when they get to say Dublin, they're coming to Dublin this summer. When Metallica get to Dublin, James Hetfield isn't going to be landing on his head for my benefit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he gives us his performance and he gives it his all, and he's world class. But at the same time, he doesn't get off, a plane, go to the Aviva Stadium, and land on his head 15 times just so we can go, wow, cool. So what wrestlers do blows my mind. And I just want to say before we finish up, because I know I've gone on a bit long, the beauty of wrestling is the fact that, and I always find it hard to explain this, but the world of WWE, you never quite know what's real and what's not real. Okay, so they have a new show on Netflix called WWE Unreal, where you go behind the scenes and you get to see what's going on, which is unprecedented. Wrestling, if you go back to the start, you would be beaten up for even giving away one secret. It was a very secretive industry, and now it's much more wide open for various reasons. And WWE has this show called Unreal on Netflix at the moment, and it's really
You
interesting because
watch it?
yeah, I watch it because it's all what goes on behind the scenes, behind the storylines and
Yeah.
everything. And to be honest with you, as a seasoned wrestling fan, I'm watching it going, I don't even know if that's real. And that's what's fascinating about the WWE is you never really know the truth. And I get the sense that even in there, some of them don't even know it's the truth. So that's what's so interesting about it is that it's just this really complicated, fascinating, layered world that you get to enjoy as a fan, as a spectator. There's been so many times I couldn't even think of one now, to be honest with you, but there's been thousands of times over the last 40 years that I've been watching wrestling where you're just like, I think that's real, but I'm not
But
sure.
and you're watching it
You're
from so
watching it and you're
many
like,
years
actually,
as well.
they hate each other, like really hate each other. And that looks a bit, doesn't look like looks like he hit him there for real. So there's been loads of stuff like that. And of course, there's been wrestlers throughout the decades that have believed their own hype and they become their character. It's like, wow. They always say when you're becoming a wrestler that it's the best stars, superstars over the years have taken their own personality and just turned the volume up. So it's real. It's them, but they're real. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin is like if you turn it up to 11, he becomes John Wayne on steroids. He's just a guy you don't mess with, almost like a cowboy or something. But you turn the volume down, he's just a quieter version, and that's amazing. And he's just probably my favorite of all time. Um, and I just find that really interesting because it's the mix of real and unreal.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And just a shout out to Hot Rod, Roddy Piper, my favorite of all time. He's sadly no longer with us, but he was a trailblazer in the 80s and 90s.
Is it so weird that I love watching the girls
No,
than the man?
no,
Like
it's for
the
you.
girls' bodies
Well,
are just
it's for everyone. But I mean, obviously, women are drawn to women and men are drawn to men. So
yeah, I
you're good.
guess so.
Yeah, it's like women's
Like
football and men's football. I guess more women watch women's football, and that's been a great thing for the WWE. But what is even better is that like I said earlier on, I could watch 3 hours of women's wrestling, and I just enjoy myself like I would any other pay-per-view. They're amazing. It's all about character. It's all about passion, and it's all about connection with the crowd. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you get that, you're a superstar. That's why I think Becky Lynch should be in the conversation for greatest of all time. I mean, of all wrestlers.
Oh,
Oh yeah, of course, men and women. Because always there's this thing about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, and you put like Hulk Hogan up there, and The Rock, and Stone Cold, and Ric Flair, or whoever, John Cena, whoever. Everyone has a different one. But it's rare that you get like, oh, Andre the Giant, Charlotte Flair. You don't get that because they don't mix them. Just like you've got a Mount Rushmore for men and a Mount Rushmore for women. But arguably, Becky Lynch is arguably the biggest star in WWE right now, of men and women. It doesn't matter. She's got the biggest connection, I think, personally. I just think she's over, like, in a huge way. She's a veteran. She's in the prime of her career in many, many ways. And she's been never more popular. So she will go down as one of the greats.
okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And okay, my last question is, what wrestling gives you that nothing in the world gives you?
I'll tell you what it gives me. I'm guaranteed a good show. Okay? And let me explain that just quickly. Loads of people watching this will go out to see their favourite football team play on a Tuesday night or a Monday night or whatever it is. And they'll go down to the pub, they'll have a pint, they'll be like, I can't wait for this match. And I watch it, and it's a stinker. Like, it's a total stinker.
Yeah.
No goals, just boring. Two teams that don't want to win. It's a snore fest. And you're like, well, that was a waste of 2 hours of my life, and you go home to bed. Wrestling, you're guaranteed, at the very least, to be entertained, because they've got control over it. So if the show's not going well, they can change it like that.
Yeah, they can adapt.
Yeah. So at the very least, you're not wasting your time.
Yeah.
There's a conclusion, there's a beginning, middle, end, and someone's always going to score. if you get my meaning.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. I think it's the greatest entertainment on earth. And if you're not watching it, you're missing out. And if you're not watching it because you think it's the F word, just please, I can't even. It's just so demeaning, and it's just dumb. It's just stop. It's just dumb. I'll go into the cinema tomorrow when people are watching, a Marvel movie. Go, it's not real. It's fake. Oh, it's fake. The movie's fake. Captain America didn't do that. It's not real. Yeah, you think that guy's an idiot, right? So listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth.
I think it's very intelligent. I think they are
It
so
is.
intelligent.
It is
And they are
actually.
so disciplined. The bodies, the work, the cardio. And then it's very hard for me. Like, for example, I go to train to stop my mind. So my brain doesn't work when I'm training. But they have to work. Their brain needs to work
Oh, my
while
God.
they are like falling and hitting themselves. They have to.
Yeah, you got 80,000 people watching you.
Yes, exactly. And everything is live.
Yeah.
Cameras are close and
Yeah. There's no hiding. It's amazing.
crazy.
And it's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. A lot of people have gotten in a lot of trouble over the years. And when you get out of the business, you're lucky if you're 100% fit. It never happens. You're always sore. Like, look at John Cena. They say he's the greatest of all time. I can't disagree with it. I could argue, but I can't disagree with it. And he's, superstar, Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. But he walks like he's sore.
Really?
Of course, yeah. The Rock walks like he's sore. That stuff hurts, and you're doing it every night for 20 years. It's, it's not for, it's for tough people only.
I go gym and hurts me. Like,
There you
I
go.
mean,
Well, imagine having to work out.
every sport.
Imagine having to do that and then go out and throw yourself around a hard ring. It's not soft, it's quite hard, so it's tough. But anyway, we're going to watch the Royal Rumble tonight, and Chris Jericho's coming back. That's what I think. And I can't
We're
wait.
gonna post this video tomorrow, so you guys, you tell us what do you think.
Yeah, did you enjoy the Royal Rumble? Let us know in the comments.
exactly.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. But tonight is Chris Jericho's night.
Yes, we have a new video every Wednesday and every Sunday.
Yeah. I want to talk about Chris Jericho for a second.
Okay,
Before we
sorry.
start, just want to say, Chris, you're very happy to have you back in the WWE. I'm going to look like a fool tomorrow if that's not true. But we'll find out tonight in Saudi Arabia if Chris is back. I've met Chris Jericho 4 or 5 times now.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I actually got on quite well with him. He wouldn't remember who I am, but every time I meet him, it's nice. He's a cool guy, and he's one
You
of the
have a
greats.
picture with him, no?
I
That's
have
him.
loads of pictures of me and Chris. He's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. I think he's cool, and I think he deserves one big final run in the WWE, and I hope it lasts for a long time because he's amazing. So go on, Chris Jericho, Royal Rumble tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye. On the chat now, baby. Mwah.